Hi there, everyone. Happy Wednesday. At least it's Wednesday as I'm recording this. I don't know when I'll get it uploaded. The goal is Wednesday, though. In today's video, though, on this hot and humid Wednesday, continuing the heat wave for one more day, we're going to talk about that hot and toasty, stuffy, uncomfortable forecast. And, you know, where we're going to see the relief and what we can expect heading into the holiday weekend so far. And then we're going to have a little fun and talk about some heat-related things. You know, there have been a couple of things flying around that I've shared on social media that I just think require a little bit more fun discussion. So we'll get to that in a second. But, you know, let's get to the nitty-gritty and get to the forecast, what I consider the fun part. Although I think this will all be fun today. But let me know what you think at either way. All right, so as far as the forecast goes today is pretty straightforward. It's going to be another hot one. Temperatures are going to jump in fast. We're going to be back into the low mid 90s by the early half of the afternoon. Your heat index values, they're going to feel between 100 to 105 degrees. In our eastern counties, there's yet another heat advisory. I think it's 11 in the morning until 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, but you get the point here. Thunderstorm chance is slightly better compared to yesterday. You know, the Storm Prediction Center has us highlighted in a slight risk today, at least our northern counties, and then everywhere else is a marginal. The marginal, a 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, and the slight, a 2 on a scale of, is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, and then the slight is a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. You know, could we get a strong storm? Sure. I think the brunt of it, though, is going to be reserved for the twin tiers. Southern tier of New York, and I think in particular the northern tier of Pennsylvania, our state. Could we get some leftovers that start to drop down later in the day and into the early evening? Sure, but at that point, you know, we're running off of heat and humidity, so there's energy. But, you know, the front is still a far distance away from us, so there's no lift. So I find that to be, first and foremost, a big problem. When we got those intense storms early last week, we did at least have a front. Now, I know in a previous vlog, I talked wind shear when I talked severe weather. And, you know, this is really, in a lot of the severe weather setups, this has been coming in my opinion, pretty pitiful. And this is another one of those instances where we don't have much speed shear and we don't have much directional shear. Specifically, speed shear is the change in wind speed with height in the atmosphere, and directional shear is the change in wind direction with height. And both of those just do not seem favorable at all to me yet again. And this seems to be a recurring problem for the most part. And without a front, I'm not quite sure we'll be able to overcome that. Everything, I think, your greatest threat, and I think we're really going to see most of the stuff happen, especially with the severe. I think that's going to be reserved for the northern tier of the state. Could we get a leftover stronger storm that's weakening as it gets here, say around 6, 7 o'clock and after into the early evening? Sure. Do I think we'll see many severe storm warnings today in our area? I doubt it. You know, another note about today. We'll be close to record warmth. So today's record, 97, set back in 1900. You know what? There's a couple times, though, that this record was tied. Let me pull that up real quickly. I only wrote down the 1 year. So it was first set in 1901, and then it was tied again in 1964 and in 1991. You know, yesterday we got to 97, and I said to myself when I was forecasting, could we do 97 today or tomorrow? Meaning Tuesday or Wednesday, because yesterday was Tuesday, of course. We got to 97 yesterday. Now I'm seeing some of the numbers come down, some of our mid to upper level numbers that translate to temperature at the surface. But again, without a lot of rain, at least until later in the day, I still held the 96. I'll tell you right now, oh man, I'm really torn on this. Isn't it great when you're worried about a degree when you're forecasting? But yeah. We'll be close. Today's record is 97, and we've got a shot at tying it. I will say that much. We've got a shot. After today, the 90s are gone. We're going to have a lot of clouds tomorrow, scattered afternoon showers and storms. And right now, tomorrow, part of our area is highlighted in a marginal risk, year 1 on a scale of 1 to 5. You know, this one's a little tricky too, because we don't have impressive speed and directional shear. We do have some upper level, we'll call it a pocket of wind. They're called jet streaks, but we'll just call it a pocket way up high at airplane level of some stronger winds, which might aid us a little. But we still don't have a lot at the mid levels, which is really what we look for and really what you need to be able to tap into those. Not only build a storm and sustain a storm, but also to tap into some of the stronger wind gusts at the mid and even arguably upper levels. It looks a little spinny, but even still, the speed and directional shear, again, is just not impressive tomorrow. I have a feeling that the greatest threat could end up south of us tomorrow. South of the border, I mean, into Maryland, Delmarva area. That's kind of where my gut's leaning right now. Could our threat go up a little bit? We'll see. But we'll be out of the 90s. A lot of us could even stay in the low. Mid-80s might even be a stretch tomorrow. I lowered us to 86. I debated 84. We'll see how that goes over the next 24 hours. Cloud cover is going to be, in terms of storms and the severe potential especially, that's going to be a big factor, and it does look like we're going to be pretty cloudy, so that could inhibit us a bit. And then we're looking at some sort of upper level area of low pressure that the models have just not been handling very well. And the models don't handle them very well. They've been very back and forth on what the Friday, Saturday, Sunday forecast has for us. You know, we've aired a few showers and whatnot. You know, the Euro had everything a couple days ago just completely dry. Cooler than average again, like some of those nice spells that we have gotten. And also, it just lovely all around, lower than average temperatures, but climatologically speaking, once you get into July, that's really hard to do. So even though the Euro's been on a roll, I just was not Team Euro when I came into this forecast Monday after the weekend. I thought the GFS, you know, even though last week it was playing catch up with this warm pattern, I just knew that logically and from a climatological standpoint, the GFS was probably the way to lean. And then yesterday, Tuesday, the Euro flopped, came in super wet. But I wasn't even that on board with it either because that was a huge flop. So that told me, yes, keeping rain chances in for the weekend, definitely the way to go. Will it be a washout though? You know, the models have kind of leveled out a little this morning. Could we have a few showers Friday and a few showers Saturday? Sure. I think there'll be dry time though. I don't think it's completely a washout. And the 4th of July forecast, you know, for a second it was looking like yesterday it might start to track in a not so good direction, but I still held out and I just had a couple showers or storms, and you know, I'm glad I didn't change it because it's looking like we're heading back in that direction, which is good. Friday, Saturday will likely hover near 80 degrees as far as temperatures are concerned. We might get a little bit of a break from the humidity heading into Saturday, where we actually do feel comfortable again. It will be muggy Friday. And tomorrow, even though we break the 90s, we're still going to keep that really steamy, soupy humidity. Those numbers really don't come down too much tomorrow. Sunday, the humidity will likely be back. It'll be muggy, but not as bad as we've experienced it the last several days. And then it looks like early next week, we might see the heat try to surge back into the area. But aside from that, I mean, that's really it with the forecast for now. I'll meet you over there and we'll talk about some, hopefully, more fun stuff and kind of lighten it up and shy away from the forecast at this point, and then talk some just fun heat related stuff. So I'm going to finish up some things here and, you know, get ready for a little bit of chit chat and makeup doing, because I do need to do my makeup over there in a second. So see you in a few. Hi there everyone. I'm back, just kind of setting up and getting ready to do my makeup and talk some interesting yet fun heat topics that I just think after I shared them on social media require a little bit more chit chat after yesterday because it made me want to talk more basically about it. Let me know your opinions and your thoughts below, by the way, as we talk about this, because I'm curious to see what everyone else does and what everyone else thinks. So first and foremost, and I think I'll get through this one really fast, I shared a picture of a corn stalk kind of opened, and then there's popcorn in it, like half popcorn and then half what you would expect upon, you know, pulling the silt back, or the outer leaves and whatever, and the silt, I guess. The silt's the stringy stuff, and I don't know. Forgive me for not knowing what the actual terminology is, the actual, you know, terminology for a piece of corn. I just eat it. But anyway, you know, and someone asked me, my aunt asked me, not to shame her or anything, but asked me if it was real, like if that was really happening. So I just want to say off the bat, that absolutely cannot happen. It can't be so hot that in an actual thing of corn, it pops. It's just they're different. I don't understand basically what the difference is from, I guess, a biological standpoint or whatever. I haven't cared to look, but I know that that's not possible. And it's just one of those things where, let's stop. Let's take 5 seconds to talk about this logically and think this through. You know, the Plain States, the South, big on corn. Pennsylvania, obviously, very big on corn as well, too. We're not strangers to 90s and high heat, and especially out there and down south, they're not strangers to it, too. They're the biggest corn producers out west. We would not have corn if that was a thing, if that was actually a thing. My stepfather shared it with me to make a joke, and I wanted to share it with you guys to make a joke too. And my aunt was included in the, you know, text message conversation or whatever, and she asked if it was true. And we were just like, yeah, no, definitely not. All right, so that's out of the way. Probably what I want to talk about more than anything. So apparently the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, to conserve energy, says that you should keep your thermostat at 78 degrees during these hot stretches, at 78 degrees while you're home. And I think it was 85 degrees while you're away. You know, yesterday morning when Chelsea first said those facts during her live shot in the 7, I looked across at Matt, who was at the desk, and I said, is that true? Because I'm sitting here like, who on earth does that? Who on earth? Like, and in a funny way. If you obviously do it, it's okay. I'm not, you know, I find this funny. You know, if this is what you do, then all the power to you. This is not meant to shame anybody's personal preferences, for sure, anything like that. But I just thought that was just the idea of that. I'm like, 78 is too, I mean, even in the winter, 78 is too high for my thermostat. I keep it at like 72, I think, maybe 74 if it's exceptionally cold. If we got like an exceptionally cold snap in place. So, I mean, I just thought that was crazy. Plus, too, for people who have pets, particularly fluffy pets, as I'm sure many of you know because I post about them frequently, I have 4 rabbits. 2 of them were purebred lion heads, which means they have a lot of fur, particularly my Oreo. His fur is just long all the way through. Dolce would be next, but she at least has a break. It's weird. She's got this puffy chest, she's got her mane, and then she's got a break of shorter hair through most of her body. And then at the very end, near her hind legs and her bum, she's got longer hair that resembles a skirt. And I'm just like, if I kept, first of all, rabbits in general, even the ones that aren't fluffy like mine, first of all, those ones, I mean, rabbits in general need to be kept cool. Rabbits cannot regulate temperature well. Fun fact, you're not supposed to give a bunny a bath for that reason. There's a special way that you wash them because you can't fully submerge them. You just can't. You're not supposed to do that. I remember too, this is another side note here. There was years ago this viral video that circulated of someone giving a rabbit a bath in the sink, and I remember I was totally that Debbie Downer on air saying, first of all, that rabbit was on its back, so it was in a trance, which is, you know, when they freeze out of fear on their backs. It happens to rabbits, most rabbits, and it's not a good thing. You're not supposed to do that. That's not good for them. And So that's why it looked relaxed and like it was enjoying it, but it really wasn't. I'm telling you right now, that rabbit was not. And then you're submerging it underwater. Lord knows what that temperature probably was. So oh man. And I called it out. I said, no, this is not cute. This is not adorable. For a rabbit, it's not stretching to say that that's kind of torture. I mean, that's not a stretch. And I guarantee you, some of the bigger rabbit lovers, I guess, would think exactly the same thing. In fact, they probably would be more outraged. Not that I wasn't outraged. I contained it for on air because, you don't go crazy. I don't know, maybe I should have, to just kind of hit that point home. But the point is, even with water, air, it's the same thing. Rabbits cannot regulate temperature. So it's actually very dangerous to leave a rabbit in 85 degrees while you're home. And I know there are long-haired dog breeds and cat breeds and even just other small pets in general that people have. And it's just, that's not logical if you have a pet. That is absolutely not logical. You can make any argument about how, well, us people, we're so used to AC, we don't have any tolerance for heat anymore like they did back in the day, blah, 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 blah. But these animals were just not designed for that. So because of Oreo and Dolce, on days like this, I have to keep our upstairs because they have free roam upstairs. I mean, they have free roam in general. They just have no desire to go down the stairs. Okay, that's fine if they don't want to do it. But I keep my upstairs at 68 to 70 degrees. And this week was the week that I lowered it just a little bit because I knew the air conditioner would be working harder than usual to be able to keep our temperature regulated. So I lowered it for that reason. And downstairs I keep downstairs warmer because, like I said, they don't go down there. That's between 72 to 74. It just really depends upon how I feel that day. Truthfully, there's no rhyme or reason to it. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys think and do. And, do you have AC units or do you have central air? I have central air. And it can actually split my top and my bottom too of my home. Well, my bottom 2 floors, and then my top floor has its own separate thermostat, which is really convenient, and because of the situation with my rabbits. And in addition to that too, of course, they get extra water to make sure that they're well cared for, they're well taken care of, I should say. But yeah, let me know what the situation for you guys are. If you have pets, what do you do? Or just for yourselves in general. See, that's the thing. And some people don't have a tolerance for high heat, and that's okay. I mean, me, I feel like I can never get that sweet spot. I feel like I'm either too hot or too cold. What do you think? What are you like? I'm curious to know what everybody's thoughts are on this, and specifically what everybody actually has their thermostats at now. Because I heard that and I'm like, there's no way most people do that or would even agree to do that. Plus, I also thought I heard over the years, and I'm no HVAC person, obviously. This is one of those things you hear and you don't know if it's true or not, so you kind of just, But I thought the constant shifting in temperatures like that, it's best to just keep your home at a constant temperature, that actually saves energy more than doing what they said there. But since this is, a reliable source putting that information out, obviously I'm questioning it now, and I'm wondering, was that not true? Is there anybody who's in HVAC or energy, something that's energy related, that can confirm or deny whether or not that's a thing? Because now I'm curious to know that information as well. But yeah, that's about it for now. I'll wrap it up here. I was trying to keep these a little bit on the shorter side. I know I'm a blabber. Later this week, I think I'm going to do another vlog, and I think I just want to do it. It'll be a fun one. I think I'll do it Friday, and I think I want to do a bunny bonding session and see how that's going. Let's see, what's the best way to put it? It's going all right, except Oreo. So I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. But I hope that you liked this vlog. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know, of course, your thoughts on some of these fun topics of discussion that I threw in, and any questions about the forecast in general that you might have. In the meantime, you know, I gotta finish getting this makeup on, and I gotta get it on a lot faster than what I'm doing right now. So I'll call it a day here, guys. Keep your eye to the sky for that storm potential later during the day. And, you know, check out my future videos if you do enjoy it. Have a great Wednesday.